What's going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to the Friday live stream on the Rain in Real Time live stream channel. Make sure that when you enter that you go ahead and smash that like button. If this is your first time coming, I'm sure it will not be your last. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And then go ahead and hit that notification bell and have it set to all so you'll be notified every time I go live. But just in case the notifications do not go out, you see that bit of text right there scrolling at the bottom. Go ahead and text that number and you can be added to the community so you can receive notifications every time I go live, whether it's on here or on my main channel when I upload pre-recorded commentaries. And I see that people are starting to roll in. So let's see, who do we have in here so far? Let's see, Jay-Z, JR47J32A. That's a very interesting name, but shout out to you. What's going on? Jordan, Jamal, J-Dog, Versatile Legacy, Kingdom, Afro, Isaiah, Irie Farms, Ashen, Didi, Mark, 007 Spidey 2, Wayne, Jamal. Oh, I already said you. Darren, D, what's going on? What's going on? Let's see what's going on. Letitia, Maximus Royalty, what's going on? I hope everybody is having a good day. I know that I am. I had a pretty decent week. Weather-wise, where I'm at, it was amazing. I don't know where y'all are at in the world, but here where I'm at, the weather was, if this is what spring is going to be looking like, then I need spring to hurry up and get here, because the weather for the last couple of days here was phenomenal. And me being a spring baby, that's what I needed. I said, we need more days like this. Let's see what's going on. Tawana, Michelle, Tina, salute to everyone who is here so far. We have quite a few topics to go over today. Some of them we're going to be staying on a little bit longer than others because there's layers to those topics. I think y'all can pretty much pinpoint which ones I'm talking about. But, you know, we're going to get through it. Let's see. Nika, Joseph, what's up? Vulcan, what's going on? Jamal said it's warm in Philadelphia. Shout out to Philly. Shout out to all the spring babies in the chat, preferably if you were born under the Taurus sign, preferably. And if you are a May Taurus, double shout out to you. Did you say your birthday is March 18th? Oh, your birthday's in a few days. Let's see. And see, the reason why I have to give a shout out to spring babies so far this year, especially this year, is because last year we got shafted. As we all know, last year we were the first round of babies that could not celebrate their birthdays the way we wanted to because of COVID. Now, my birthday was in May. I couldn't celebrate it the way that I wanted to. So you can imagine how it was for the people that were born in March, after a certain time at least. So we have a year to make up for. Let's see here. These is a team Pisces. Joseph said you're born May 16th. Oh, you a Taurus just like me, and you're May Taurus. Shout out to you. Oh, May 16th. Oh, and you share a birthday with Janet Jackson. Let's see. 007 Spidey. You are Aries. You are Aries just like my dad. My dad is an Aries. He's right at the beginning of the Aries line. 18th. Shout out to you, Team Gemini. I know a few Geminis. Y'all crazy though. When that twin energy is like, it's crazy. He said it's warm in Alabama. Ashley said, have you seen the anti-black database that Tariq has made? No, I have not. This is actually my first time hearing about it. How are you, darling? I'm doing great. Pink, you said, oh, you was born May 18th. So you right there at the end of the Taurus line. You right there. Your birthday is the day before Malcolm X. Kathy, she says she's a Pisces. Justin, you said y'all heard that Goldman Sachs is donating $10 billion to black women. I've actually done watched some videos and commentaries about that. It's not what it's cracked up to be. That's why I posted up on my Twitter account. Black women don't fall for that con game, because there's a trick behind that. And I watched a video that broke down what they're really trying to do. And it is a huge trick bag, but unfortunately some are going to fall for it. And you got to like really question why they doing that. And I actually, what it really boils down to is this. One of the major reasons why they don't want to give black people as a collective reparations, you got to think, why is Goldman Sachs willing to want to give $10 billion to 1 million black women? Like, where did this come from? And this is not a place coming from a place of hating or anything like that. But why did they specifically just choose black women and not say black people, which would include the men and the children? Goes back to reparations. They know that if they were to give reparations to black people as a collective, that means that now black men would have a playing field that's pretty much leveled or exceeding that of white men. And they don't want that competition. For them, that'll never happen. What's going on, Craig? The double something. You said you're March 27th, so you're at the end of March. Let's see, who else do we have here? J. Cage, Marie, what's going on? What's going on? It's funny about the Geminis. There was a girl that I used to go that I went to college with, who I had liked, and I really had liked this person or whatever. And when I felt like we was real close to actually ended up together, but unfortunately it didn't happen. And she was a Gemini. Could you imagine that? Me, a Taurus, and her a Gemini, and I was born in May and she was born in June. Craig, you said Lindsey Graham said black farmers getting relief as reparations. Okay. Because they feel like they don't have to compete with that. And the thing is, why is the black farmers being reparations? See, that's the thing. Not every black person is a farmer. That would only benefit the majority of black people were farmers, but the majority of black people are not farmers. What's going on, Jamarius? You said your dad is a Taurus. Oh, his birthday the day before mine. Mine is May 4th. Shout out to your dad. His birthday is the day before mine. Mine is May 4th. Exactly, Tina. That would that would have been a very interesting. Imagine you have a bull and a twin. That's crazy. That would have been an interesting combination, though. Yeah, Bruce. I've heard that talking point before too, where they said Obama was our reparations. Yeah, they just don't want to come off that check. That's all it is. Jerome, you said your dad's birthday is the day after mine, so his birthday's on the 5th. All right, shout out to you, Marie. She says she's a Taurian too, but born in April. That's fine. You still made it. Even though the May ones are better, I'm just saying. I gotta hold the May ones down. The shout out to the Taurian line. Now y'all know how I got my name. I don't know how people didn't figure out how I came up with my name. People ask me, how did you come up with that name, Taurian? I'm like, it's all in the name. Like, I would not call myself Taurian Rain if I was a Sagittarius. As a matter of fact, if I was a Sagittarius, the name that I would have had for myself on this platform wouldn't even have been anything to do with my zodiac sign. Craig, you said, and Tim Scott said, woke supremacy is worse than one. I have a video coming about that, and that's probably going to be uploaded tomorrow. I have a video coming about that full tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. 007 said, my ride scary. It's the same day as mine. But Jamar said, my mom is a Taurus too. Again, shout out to all the Tauruses. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the signs, but especially the Tauruses. I mean, I have a bias, so I have to hold it down. It just is what it is. Right, Gamer G. That's actually gonna be my first topic. That was a shocker. That legit shocked me. Like when I saw that on Facebook, it caught me by surprise. But I think it caught everybody by surprise. But shout out to everybody who is in here so far. So now, we're about 9 or 10 minutes in. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing started because, we have quite a few things to discuss. This is actually my first live stream that I'm doing that actually has topics attached to it. Because, the last week I had, Town Biz on here. And then the week before was like the, me just communicating with y'all because I, how I like to do the live streams at the end of every month, to round up the month and whatnot. So this is my first time really doing some topic based streams. Royalty, what's going on? My day is going great. I hope yours is the same. I hope everybody's having a good day. But right now, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is share my screen. And then we can go ahead and get started with this the stream. And the first one I want to talk about is what somebody mentioned in the chat, and that's talking about this YouTuber by the name of Laoshu505000. When I found this out, it was on Facebook. I had found out this dude passed away on Facebook. I did not know he had died. And it's crazy because I've been subscribed to his channel for such a long time. I used to love going onto his channel and watching his videos and watching him communicate with various people in different cultures from around the world and literally shock the people that he knew the language. Because here you have this black man right here on your screen whose name is Moses McCormick, but his YouTuber name was Laoshu505000. And he would go around talking to various different people in different cultures from around the world. Like, look at that. It said he spoke over 20 languages. This guy was a walking translator, and he's a black man. That was amazing. That is simply amazing. Like, a lot of people went to his channel to try to learn how to speak other languages. And of course, if you are familiar with his channel, he had something called the Level Up series, where he would basically talk about new languages that he was learning. Like, one thing I liked is that he never stopped learning. He was determined to know as many languages as possible in the world. Right, Joseph? He said a black Rosetta Stone or a black Duolingo. But the shocking thing is that he was only 39. 39. That's 7 years older than me. Well, about 7, because I'll be 32 in May. So about 8-7 years older than me. He was young. He was young. And they said that he passed away because he had heart complications. And it wasn't like, they said it wasn't heart complications that just happened. They said that he's been suffering heart complications for a few years now. But he never let it show through his work. It kind of reminds you of Chadwick Boseman. When Chadwick Boseman passed last year, none of us knew he had colon cancer because he just worked through his pain. He worked through his illness. So apparently this guy was doing the same thing, working through his illness. And what's even more eerie is that how close in age both of them were, because Chadwick Boseman was 43 and this guy was 39. So they were only a few years apart, literally just a small few years apart. But it's just, it's unfortunate. And the last video he did was about a week ago, because I went to his channel after I learned that he passed. And the last video that he put up there was from like a week prior. See, this article was posted on Monday, March 8th. It is now the 12th. And many of us didn't find out until like a couple days after he had passed. Baby Food Clothing Company said he had heart problems because of a deeper issue fighting with his ex. That's the second time I've actually seen that, where someone said that it was an issue going on with him and his ex-wife, and that stemmed to him getting those heart problems. So it sounds like to me like he was in a stressful marriage. That's what it sounds like. So the heart problems didn't apparently come from anything hereditary, like a family a family issue with it. So it just sounds like to me his ex-wife put him through the ringer or put him through whatever kind of stress when they were married. And that's where it stems from, which is very unfortunate. That's if it does all of that, that's what you call a toxic relationship. Baby food clothing company said his wife caused him to get a stroke, and so he spoke with her about splitting up. That's crazy. So, see, I'm learning some stuff right here. I'm learning some stuff right now. And so the thing is, learning all of that stuff right here, you would never know he was going through all of that because he didn't bring his personal issues to his content. What's going on, Akira? But yeah, you would never know he was going through all of that looking at his content. Because he's like, I'm not here to bring my personal drama to the people. I'm here to, show them how to speak these languages and go around the world and put smiles on people's faces. Like, he actually genuinely liked to see people happy that he knew these languages, because if you looked at him talking to these people in their language, they were shocked that he knew it. They was, because usually every time.
How you doing, sir?
Hold on, y'all.
You are your number
49.
49. Well, thank you, first of all, for being here and for your patience.
All right.
It's kind of an imprecise process, but hopefully.
Sorry about that. I had to go and mute this audio that just popped up on my screen from another topic I'm gonna be talking about, which is actually the next topic, but I forgot it's on a live feed, so I forgot to mute it before they came back. But anyway, yeah, what I was saying was, it always shocked the people that he knew how to speak their language. Like, you see how the guys in the picture on the right, when he was saying you speak Cantonese, that was the kind of response he would always get from the people he encountered. What's going on, HG Squeezy? Mr. Salute 10 says, did the Woo-Vid accelerate his heart condition? It doesn't specify that he had it. It doesn't specify. It never specified that he had Woo-Vid. If y'all look at at what Baby Food Clothing Company is typing in the chat, I'm not going to read every single thing that they're saying, but they said that they knew him personally. So they're dropping a lot of stuff in the chat. So if y'all are reading what the chat is saying right now, look at what Baby Food Clothing Company is typing, because apparently they know more than they definitely know more than I do about what was going on in their relationship. But either way, RIP to this man and his family. Definitely lost a pioneer, in my honest opinion. Like, he was moving mountains with his content. Like, that was, like, you gotta think, we've never seen something like, a lot of us never seen something like this before, where you have a young black man traveling around the world speaking multiple languages. Like, do you know how profitable and marketable he would be if he had a job as a translator, like an actual job as a translator? Which I'm glad he didn't take it as a job, because he would be beholden to just that one position. He wouldn't be able to really travel. But he was a very profitable person. To know how to speak various languages is to make, well, let's just put it this way. He would never go for broke. I'll put it like that. But with that being said, let me start to transfer over to the next story, and we about to head into some BS. The BS is going to be upon us from here on out. Just giving you a heads up. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is everything going on right now with this Derek Chauvin trial. And let me just go ahead and say this. It is called the Derek Chauvin trial, not the George Floyd trial. I get tired of seeing people keep saying the George Floyd trial. George Floyd is not on trial. They tried to do this thing with Trayvon Martin back in 2013 when Zimmerman was on trial, but they kept calling it the Trayvon Martin trial. No. Derek Chauvin is the one that's on trial. Let's make that clear. So it's actually going to be three things I wanted to talk about as it pertains to Derek Chauvin. And this is going to be three things. The reinstating of the third degree murder, or is it third degree manslaughter? And the most recent thing that just came out today, like literally probably minutes or maybe an hour or so before I decided to start this stream up. But let's start off with this, and that is this questionnaire that they have put together for the jurors. Now, if y'all watch Lisa Cabrera, which most of you in here, I believe, already do, she and True Royal Family, the One LVZ, and a few others did a live stream the other night talking about this questionnaire. I was supposed to be on there, but that day I just wasn't feeling good. Like my allergies was acting up, so I didn't want to get on there and was like sniffing and sneezing all over the place. So I watched it as much as I could because I already knew I was going to talk about it on here anyway. And the questions that they have, it's like these. It seems like these are some setup type of questions. Like they're looking for a particular type of juror. Like a particular type of juror that they want on this stand. So I'm gonna go ahead and like scroll through them. I don't know how many questions there are, but we're gonna see what they got. So the questions start right here where it says part 1, knowledge of the case. On May 25th, 2020, George Floyd died after an interaction with Minneapolis police. The charges in this case stem from that incident. The first question says, what do you know about this case from media reports? It is important for the parties to know all of the details you remember about these events, the case George Floyd and defendants Derek Chauvin, 2000, J. Alexander King, and Thomas Lane. Please take your time to search your memory and provide a full account of what you recall from what you have heard or seen in the media. This will help to shorten the jury selection process. The thing is, how would you not know what's going on? This thing was all over the media. Like this got worldwide coverage. Or is this another setup question? But I believe many of them, or damn near all of them, are setup questions. Let's see. This one says, from what you have seen, read, or heard, do you have general impression of the defendants? They stem from very negative to other, and then they ask, why do you feel that way? See, these are some setup questions because they know many people probably going to put very negative. But that could be a setup. So it's like, okay, if I put very negative, then I won't get selected. But if I put like anything beyond neutral, I might get on the stand and I could work my way in there and then go back on why I feel very negative about them. So it's like, do I say very negative and be honest, or do I lie and say somewhat positive? And the thing is, they'll try to shake it out if you lied. Gwendolyn E said, I love this channel. Well, I appreciate you. Number 3 says, from what you have seen, read, or heard, do you have general impression of George Floyd? And the responses to that are the same as question number 2, from very negative to other. And then they ask them, why do you feel that way? I have a feeling they trying to find someone who's pro-police to be on these jurors for this jury. And from what I've heard, I think they've already selected 7 so far. I don't know how many in total they're supposed to be getting. Number 4 says, do you or someone close to you have any direct or indirect connections to these events? If I was on if I was being a juror, I would automatically say no. I don't have a direct and indirect connection to this event because I didn't know George Floyd, and I don't know those pigs. Number 5 says, have you ever watched video of George Floyd's death on the news or the internet? Yes. Who hasn't seen it? Who hasn't seen it unless they're blind, unless they were blind? If yes, how many times have you seen videos from the incident in whole or in part on TV or the internet? Then they have 1 time, 2 to 3 times, 4 to 5 times, 6 more times. For the most of us, it'll probably be, well, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I did it 6 or more times. Like, I couldn't bear to look at that video too many times. For me, it would probably be between the 2 to 3 times category. I'm gonna just be honest. Let's see here. Number 6, have you ever talked about George Floyd's death with your family, friends, or coworkers, or discussed it online, for example, on social media? If yes, what opinions have you expressed? Like I said, these are setup questions. These are setup questions. See, they want people to try to be as unbiased as possible towards these pigs. I've never seen a questionnaire set up like this, and we're only on question 6. Number 7. Did you or someone close to you participate in any of the demonstrations or marches against police brutality that took place in Minneapolis after George Floyd's death? Yes, me. Yes, someone close to me. Or no. If you participated, explain how much you were involved. Well, for me, it would be no. No for the whole thing. No, I wouldn't. I didn't participate. And 2, I don't know anybody who did. And it says, if you participated, did you carry a sign and what did it say? You want people to actually reach back to that time and see what the sign said if they participated? I think it's safe to say that if anybody answers yes to anything on question 7, they're not getting picked. Number 8, did you or someone you know get injured or suffer any property damage during the protest that took place after George Floyd's death? Answer yes or no. Number 9, do you believe your community has been negatively or positively affected by any of the protests that have taken place in the Twin Cities area since George Floyd's death? And number 10, no matter what you have heard or seen about this case, and no matter what opinions you might have formed, can you put all of that aside and decide this case only on the evidence you received in court? Follow the law and decide the case in a fair and impartial manner. Do you know how many people will get to the question 10 and lie their ass off? It's going to be a lot of people that's going to say yes, but knowing damn well they meant to say no. So that was the first part. That was the first round of questions, because there's a part 2 right here that's coming up. So the thing is, they asking questions they already know the answers to, but they're trying to pull it out of people so they can design this jury in the image that they want it to be designed in. Part 2, media habits. The first question is, what is your primary source of news? So they're going to be asking, do you watch CNN? Do you watch Fox News? Do you watch MSNBC, local news? I wish someone was there right there to say the new black media. They imagine if someone put new black media. They were like, up next, they're done. Bruce said, how did the questionnaire get released? They put it out there. It wasn't leaked. They put it out there. Because if you look at the date, this questionnaire was drafted December 22nd, 2020 at 12:14 p.m. So they already had these questions made up. Number 2 says, how often do you read a hard copy or online version of a newspaper? And it ranges from every day to never. If that was me, I'm going to say never. I'm going to be quite, well, would an article be considered a newspaper? I don't know. I don't think so. It says, what newspapers do you regularly read? Now, you got to think about it. Why are they constantly asking about newspapers? You got to think, what age group really reads newspapers? You're thinking about people in maybe our parents' age range or older. That's what I think of, because people in my generation and younger ain't reading no newspaper. Let's just be real here. It says, what podcast do you regularly listen to? So they're trying to get an idea of what kind of people do that feeds your ears, even if it has nothing to do with this case. How often do you listen to local news on the radio or watch news on television? They range from every day to never. That one will be, for me, less often than once a week. Most of the stuff, I'm gonna be honest, most of the stuff I get comes from the internet. Like the stuff that y'all send me comes from the internet. Which local radio or television news station do you listen to or watch the most? Number 7, how often do you see local news or news-related updates on social media sites such as Facebook or Twitter? Shoot, for me, that would be every day. But the way my subscribers are set up and the way they send me stuff over social media, every single day. Number 7, what social media platforms do you use regularly, if any? They probably looking for someone that says that they don't use social media often. So that means they probably use one particular social media thing, and that one you really can't get out of and say that you don't, because they could go and look and see if you are active on various social media sites. So that one is like, okay, you can lie if you want to, but we're gonna look to see if you were telling the truth. Say that you have one social media account and it turns out you got several. Okay, the third part. I don't know how many parts it is, but we're going to get through it. Part 3, police contacts. Now I feel like it's getting warm. It's getting hot. Number 1 says, the defendants in this case were officers for the Minneapolis Police Department. Is there anything about their employment with the NPD that would prevent you from rendering a fair and impartial verdict in this case? No, because we're only talking about the ones that was involved with this case, not everybody else. See, that's the trick. That's the trick right there. They feel that you would have a bias towards the entire department when you're really going after the 4 people, especially that main one who was involved with the murder, as far as we are concerned, of George Floyd. Exactly, Eastside. He says, once again, they're looking for an older demographic. Most of the younger demographic get their news from social media, not from television. That's why when they was asking about that newspaper, I said I knew who they was talking about when they said the newspaper. Number 2, do you have regular contact with any law enforcement agencies, employees, or officers through your work, your neighborhood, or in your social life? If yes, explain. That for me would be a no. Number 3, have you or someone close to you ever helped or support or advocated in favor of or against police reform? See, that's why I said now these questions are getting hot. This right here is the pro-police portion of the questionnaire. You can tell by the way that they're structuring these questions. That question right there, you can tell that one's strictly targeted to Black people. Like, think about it. What other group really talks about police reform like that? To be quite honest, I mean, in mass. I'm not talking about a mix. I'm talking about the majority. Number 4, have you or someone close to you ever been arrested for a crime? Well, for me, that would be no. It says, if yes, how did the police handle the arrest? It ranges from they acted professionally to I don't know. But for me, that would just be a flat out no. I almost did, though, one time back when I was in college. It says, have you or someone close to you ever been the victim of a crime where the police were called? Nope. And it says, if yes, explain the circumstances. Number 6, were you satisfied or unsatisfied with how police responded? It ranges from very satisfied to I don't know. Well, for me, how could I answer that? Oh, they must be. Hold on. Let me read that again. Says, were you satisfied? Hold on. So who are they talking about? Are they talking about what happened with George Floyd, or are they talking about in response to question number 5? Because notice they just kind of left that kind of vague. Like, what are they talking about in question 6? That y'all notice that, like, it's like very open. Like, who are they talking about in question number 6? This is, were you satisfied or unsatisfied with how the police responded? I'm assuming they're talking about George Floyd, and if they are, it would be very unsatisfied if that's the case. Number 7 says, have you ever personally seen the police use more force than was needed? Yes. Yeah. There's the trick bag again. Have you personally seen the police use more force than when needed? It didn't say, have you seen them do it, meaning maybe from a TV screen or a video. It says, have you seen them personally, like in front of your face? Like you were there on the scene when it happened. Many people will get caught up and say yes, knowing that they weren't there personally to see it. That's the trick right there. Number 8, have you ever been restrained or put in a chokehold, for example, by law enforcement or during a self-defense class? What does a self-defense class have to do with this? Again, I ask, what does a self-defense class have to do with that? And this is, for example, by law enforcement. Yes, no. If yes, please explain. Like I said, these are questions that they're asking people who don't have any bias towards the police or feel any ill will towards them. That's who these questions are for. Now, this one says, please circle the choice that reflects your honest opinion. A, discrimination is not as bad as the media makes it out to be. And it goes from strongly agree all the way to strongly disagree. It says again, discrimination is not as bad as the media makes it out to be. That will be a hardcore 5 for me, because I believe it's worse. Imagine what the media doesn't tell you or doesn't show you. B, blacks and other minorities do not receive equal treatment as whites in the criminal justice system. Well, first off, let me just start off by saying this is the first time I've really seen them actually set black people from the word minority. Because, you know, they love to throw us into that POC. But anyway, it says blacks and other minorities do not receive equal treatment as whites in the criminal justice system. That'll be a hardcore 1 for me. Strongly agree. C, police in this country treat whites and blacks equally. 5. D, police in my community make me feel safe. Well, where I live at is not heavily policed, so I don't have an opinion on that. E, I support defunding the Minneapolis Police Department. So you gotta think, these questions for people, of course, who live in Minneapolis. So it's some of them I couldn't even like they went. First off, I'm just answering them just to answer them because I wouldn't be able to be on this jury anyway because I don't live in Minneapolis. But they said I support defunding the Minneapolis police. I'll give that a 2. F says Minneapolis police officers are more likely to respond with force when confronting black suspects than when dealing with white suspects. So the thing is this, they are looking for people to do and go between the 1 and the 5 and nothing really in between. Either it's going to either be a 1 or a 5. It says G, because law enforcement officers have such dangerous jobs. Oh, they can spare me with that crap. This comes from the same law enforcement, quote unquote, that is mad if people insult them. Remember the video I did about Kentucky yesterday? If you insult the police officers in Kentucky, then you're going to get hit with a crime. Anyway, it says because law enforcement officers have such alleged dangerous jobs, it is not right to second guess decisions they make while on duty. 5. The criminal justice system is biased against racial and ethnic minorities. I think we all know the answer to that one. I do not trust the police. That'll be a 1. People today do not give our law enforcement officers the respect they deserve. They don't give us the respect we deserve. So for Jay, what is that? Today do not give our law enforcement. I'll put it this way: it's definitely not the first 2. K. Local police departments try to cover up excessive force rather than correct it. Oh, that's a 1. That's a 1 all day. That is a 1 all day. How many stories have we seen where they've covered up these crimes that they committed? And last one is L. I think that news reports about police brutality against racial minorities is only the tip of the iceberg. They like to over embellish a lot of those stories, so they don't put everything in there. Like I said, lamestream media is called lamestream for a reason. Okay, let's move on. Number 10 says, have you ever been trained on how to restrain someone or use a chokehold? I'm gonna be honest, no. But just because I've never been trained in it doesn't mean I don't know how to do it. Number 11, do you have any martial arts training or experience? Nope. Does watching Bruce Lee movies count? Number 12, other than what you've already described above, have you or anyone close to you participated in protests about police or use of force or police brutality? No. How favorable or unfavorable are you about Black Lives Matter? It goes from very favorable, somewhat favorable, neutral, somewhat unfavorable, very unfavorable. That's the one I was looking for. Shoot, I'm going to need more than that little space they giving me right there under 13 to explain why I'm unfavorable toward them. Number 14, how favorable or unfavorable are you about Blue Lives Matter? Very unfavorable. And I repeat my sentiments with number 13. I'm going to need more space. Part 4, personal background, age, gender, highest level of education, your work status, previous 5 positions or occupations, what city do you live in now and how long have you lived there? So those are basic questions. Please list other cities you have lived in and approximately how long, marital status, spouse or partner's work status, highest level of education, completed by the spouse or partner. What are the ages, genders, and work of your children, if you have any? Have you ever served in the military? Do you or anyone close to you have training or experience, work or volunteer in the following areas: law enforcement, criminal justice or criminology, forensic science, medicine, healthcare, counseling, psychology or mental health, civil rights or social justice issues, victim of have you or anyone close to you have any of the following experiences: victim of a crime, accused of a crime, struggle with drug addiction. 14, would any of the experiences you noted above make it difficult for you to be fair and impartial? If so, why? Have you had any of the following court experiences? Served on a jury in a criminal case? Almost, but they never picked me. I remember one time I went to jury duty for a whole day and they didn't use none of us. They dismissed everybody, but of course we was in groups, so unfortunately my group was the last to leave. So imagine you sitting in that courthouse from like 7 in the morning and couldn't leave until like 1 in the afternoon. Served on a jury during a civil case, testified as a witness in court case, served on a grand jury. That'll be a no across the board for me. Worked for the judicial branch? Nope. Would any of the experiences you noted above make it difficult for you to be fair and impartial? Please list any hobbies or special interests you have. Why does this sound like an interview? It sounds like a resume. Please list any organizations you have belonged to in which you participate, including an active volunteer or financial supporter. This could include veterans, groups, service clubs, social clubs, unions, professional, volunteer, neighborhood, educational, or political groups. Part 5. I don't know how many parts there is. It says opinions regarding the justice system. Do you believe that the jury system in this country is a fair system? Nope. Do you believe our criminal justice system works? Nope. Under our system of justice, defendants are presumed innocent of the criminal charges against them. Would you have any difficulty of following this principle of law? Well, when it comes to black people, it's usually in reverse, that they're guilty until they're proven innocent. And a lot of times they are innocent, but they're still proven guilty. Looking at this, I couldn't serve on this jury. I couldn't. They wouldn't pick me. I'm just being honest. They wouldn't even have to read my entire response to say that I'm not getting picked. Under our system of justice, the prosecution has the burden of proving the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Would you have any difficulty following this principle of law? Number 5, under our system of justice, defendants have the right to remain silent, and if they exercise that right, their silence is not to be used against them. Would you have difficulty following this principle following this principle of law? Under our system of justice, the potential consequences of your verdict, including potential penalty or punishment, must not in any way affect the jury's decision as to whether or not the prosecution has proven the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Under our system of justice, the jury must decide the case solely on the evidence produced in court, and that the law that the judge instructs, and not because of bias, passion, prejudice, or sympathy. Would you have difficulty following this principle of law? This one right here, number 7 in particular, that's the one where they feel they're going to get a lot of people, because they know that people have an ill will toward Derek Chauvin. So they say you have to rely on the evidence given or provided, not your own personal beliefs about how you think of this guy. Part 6, trial length and ability to serve. I hope this is the last part. This is our best prediction is that jury selection will last from March 8th, 2021 to March 26th, 2021, which actually is kind of true because the jury selection did start this week. I'm not going to read that. I'm going to skip through all of that. Oh, it says, do you want to serve as a juror in this case? I know I would be sick saying yes, because I already know I wouldn't get picked. And that is the end. Okay, so that was the last part. So that was pretty much the entire questionnaire. This was the entire questionnaire for the jurors, for potential jurors of this case. Now, of course, by now they have already started selecting the jurors. I think they said they so far have 7 selected thus far. I don't know how many they're going for, but we're going to keep our eye on this case. So with that being said, let me move on to the next part. We're still on Derek Chauvin, but remember I told you there was 2 more parts I had to address about it. This is the second part. Judge reinstates 3rd-degree murder charge against Derek Chauvin in George Floyd's death. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this audio. Wait, hold on. I'm not gonna play this audio because I don't think this audio relates to what I'm about to read. Okay, so it says former Minneapolis police terrorist Derek Chauvin now faces an additional murder charge in the death of George Floyd after a Hennepin County judge reinstated a count of third-degree murder on Thursday. Chauvin already faced charges of second-degree unintentional murder and second-degree manslaughter. He has pleaded not guilty to all three charges. The added charges provides prosecutors a third potential pathway to conviction in the closely watched case, which began Tuesday with jury selection at the heavily fortified Hennepin County Government Center. The charge of third-degree murder, in addition to manslaughter and felony murder, reflects the gravity of the allegations against Derek Chauvin. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison said in a statement, "We look forward to presenting all three charges to the jury." All I can hope is this, that they did not overcharge. Because that's why some of them be walking. It's because they overcharge. You charge based on what you believe you can prove, not because that's what you want. That's how a lot of these little devils be walking right now, is because they overcharge them. So all I'm gonna say is this: they better make sure they have all their ducks in a row. Let's see. Attorneys Mushmouth Crump and Antonio Ramanucci said in a statement Thursday night that they are gratified the judge has included a third-degree murder charge. We'll see. The trial is very painful and the family needs closure. We're pleased that all judicial avenues are being explored and that the trial will move forward. Chauvin was initially charged with third-degree murder in the days after Floyd's May 2020 death, but Hennepin County District Court Judge Peter Cahill dismissed the count in October, saying it did not apply to this case. So you got to wonder, if it didn't apply to the case then, what makes it apply now? However, an appeals court ruling in February in the case against former Minneapolis police officer Muhammad Noor opened the door to reinstating the charge against Chauvin, and the state subsequently filed an appeal of Cahill's ruling. So they reached back to the Muhammad Noor situation to reinstate the third-degree murder charge. Because remember, that's what Muhammad Noor is in jail for right now, for killing that, what's her face? Justine chick. And I think he got like what, 12 years? What was it, 12 years? I think it was less than 15. I do know that, for her murder. The Minnesota Court of Appeals ordered Cahill to reconsider the motion to reinstate the charge last week. On Wednesday, the Minnesota Supreme Court refused a request by Chauvin attorney to block the appellate court's decision, clearing the way for Cahill to reinstate the charge. In court on Thursday, Chauvin's defense attorney Eric Nelson argued that Noor's case was factually and procedurally different than Chauvin's interactions with Floyd, in which he knelt on Floyd's neck and head and neck area for an extended period. However, prosecutors argued that the judge was bound to follow the court appeals precedent in Noor. Judge Cahill ruled Thursday morning that he accepted the appeals court's ruling that the opinion in Noor's case immediately set a precedent, and he ruled to reinstate the charge. He added that the third-degree murder charge only applied to Chauvin, and that the potential to reinstate the charge for the three other officers charged in Floyd's death will be addressed at a later date. What do the charges mean? That's actually what I wanted to find out. Third-degree murder, sometimes known as depraved mind or depraved heart murder, generally applies to a case in which a person does something imminently dangerous to others without regard for human life, such as randomly firing into a crowd or driving on the wrong side of the road. The second-degree murder charge alleges that Chauvin unintentionally caused Floyd's death while committing third-degree assault, and the second-degree manslaughter charges allege that Chauvin caused Floyd's death by his culpable negligence. Now, watch, this is what the defense is going to try to do for Derek Chauvin. They're going to lean heavily on the events that led up to that, and they're going to lean on the alleged drug usage that George Floyd had, because they said allegedly he had like opioids in his system, and that's what caused it. They're going to lean heavily on that. So expect that to come up a couple of times in this trial. I'm waiting on it because I know it's coming. If convicted, Chauvin could face up to 40 years in prison for second-degree murder, up to 25 years for third-degree murder, and up to 10 years for second-degree manslaughter. Keywords there are up to. That does not mean that he's going to get the 40, 25, and 10 if he got found guilty on all three. Which in total, if he was, that would be 75 years, which means he will most likely die in prison if he wasn't eligible for parole. But the words there are up to. So that doesn't mean he's going to get those years. That just means that they can't go beyond 40, 25, and 10. I always got to reiterate that because some people get overly excited when they see those numbers. The charges are to be considered separate, so Chauvin could be convicted of all, some, or none of them. David Weinstein, a former prosecutor who has closely followed the case, said the charges each represent a different level of intent, so jurors will have more options to consider during deliberations. Choices like this can also allow for a compromised verdict by the jury, he said. The defense would have preferred an all or nothing choice for jurors. And that's pretty much it. The last part was saying, how did we get here? But we already know how we got here. Then he said, what did the autopsy say was the cause? Death by asphyxiation. That was what it said. Basically, east side of homicide, but to be specific, it said death by asphyxiation. So let me go ahead and get to the last part. So this is the last part right here. This is the most recent thing that came out. It came out. It said published at 6:51 a.m. this morning and updated at 3:52 p.m., which was 8 minutes before my live stream started. Derek Chauvin trial live. 7 jurors now seated as Minneapolis announces a $27 million settlement with George Floyd's family. How ironic. They are doing a huge settlement with George Floyd's family the week that the trial begins. They could have, if they want to do this settlement, they could have did this at any point before this. But they waited to specifically this week to do it. This is another jury found a seat Friday in the murder trial of former Minneapolis police terrorist Derek Chauvin, as the city agreed to pay $27 million to settle a wrongful death lawsuit with George Floyd's family. And unfortunately, you know that money is going to come out of the pockets of the taxpayers. Given the circumstances of Floyd's death, a black man dying under the knee of a white police officer, the racial makeup of the jury is a key concern. So far, 5 of the 7 jurors selected are men. 4 of the jurors identify as white, 1 as multiracial, 1 as Hispanic, and 1 as black. So they already flooded the pool with PC. According to Hennepin County District Judge Peter Cahill, who was presiding over the case, 6 of the jurors are in their 20s or 30s, and 1 is in her 50s. So basically, they just told you that 1 of them is a woman. Okay, so 2 of them are women. I'm sorry. Chauvin's attorneys have struck at least 3 jurors who are Hispanic throughout the week, something that spurred prosecutors to twice use Batson challenges. Such challenges claim that a potential juror was eliminated on the basis of sex, race, ethnicity, or religion. The judge denied both challenges and rebuffed the notion that jurors were being excluded on the basis of race. Meanwhile, Cahill allowed prosecutors to reinstate a third-degree murder charge against Chauvin, something legal observers say will give the jury more options as it considers the former officer's culpability in Floyd's death. The charge accompanies the second. I don't have to read that part because we already talked about that in the previous one. And that's pretty much it. I don't know which way this thing going to go, but I do know this. If it doesn't go the way that it's supposed to, it's going to be hell to pay. That's all I got to say. If this thing does not go the way that it should, there will be hell to pay. I'm like, did y'all not see how people was getting down last year? And they'll call that diverse, y'all. Well, we have 4 white men, but we also have a Hispanic, we have a black person, we have 2 people up there that are women, and we have various age groups. We have 20s to 30s and 50s, and they'll call that diverse. You'll never get a jury pool quite like the one they did for the OJ trial. I'm just being honest. Well, this pretty much takes care of the Derek Chauvin portion of this stream. I think because this is something that's going to be going on weekly, I'm gonna just incorporate this into the live streams instead of doing a pre-recorded video on the main channel, since this is going to be going on for a while. Remember, they're still in jury selections. They said that's going to be going for a while, so we're going to be here for a little minute. Susan Butler says those questions aren't diverse. They really aren't. And you got to think, the people they selected got those questions. The people that got selected received those questions I read. Well, like I said, we're going to keep our eye on this one. The world is watching. That's all I got to say. But let's move on to the next story right here. So this one right here, cancel culture, done reared its ugly head yet again. This time on a beloved cartoon by the name of Pepe Le Pew. When I first heard about this, I said, has it really come to this? Has it really come to where cartoon characters who have been around since the 40s, because I found out Pepe Le Pew been around since 1945, it has come to the point where cartoons like this one get canceled. So, in case y'all don't know, and unless you've been living under a rock or maybe just sincerely did not know, there is about to be a new Space Jam movie called Space Jam: A New Legacy, where LeBron James is the main character. And of course, it's a sequel to the 1996 film Space Jam that had Michael Jordan in it. And, all the Looney Tune characters are coming back, but it's going to be one that's going to be axed from this movie. And that is Pepe Le Pew. Now, basically, the character Pepe Le Pew he's a French skunk. He's very romantic, and he falls in love with this cat who he assumes to be a skunk because he saw the stripe on the back of the cat. So he assumed that it was a skunk. And the cat would always try to get away because that's 2 different species. And a skunk has a very foul and strong odor. So that's why the cat always tried to get away. But now Pepe is not about to not be in the movie because apparently, according to this person by the name of Charles Blow, who I found out is not only a black man, but he's also in the academy, said that Pepe Le Pew promotes rape culture. And I'm like, I didn't get those vibes from this character even as a child. I never even said, even as a kid, that Pepe Le Pew was weird. I always thought he was funny. I always thought it was funny and hilarious to me. And I said, are you serious? So that means now that this movie is done. The movie has been done filming. It's done and everything like that. So they have to go, because the movie's coming out in July. So now that means they have to go and edit out his scenes. Every scene he's in, he can't be anywhere near that movie. Like, no mentioning of him whatsoever. None. And not only that, not only did they remove Pepe Le Pew out of Space Jam 2, but they have also removed him from all Looney Tune products. So that means if there is any Pepe Le Pew mugs or cups or shirts or anything that has the Looney Tune brand and he's a part of it, he's no longer on. They literally completely and utterly have erased Pepe Le Pew out of existence. Now you got to question yourself. Question this. Riddle me this. This character has been around for so long, and y'all knew how his character was. You always know that his character was a flirtatious type of being. But you chose now to be upset. And meanwhile, you have other cartoons that are pushing all kinds of agendas. I don't have to spell it out for you. You know what I'm talking about. And they'll put that in front of your kids and force your kids to watch that. Now, if you're looking at this picture, we're going to get to the actress in a minute. But if you look at the picture with Pepe on it, you also see another character, Speedy Gonzalez. You know, Andale, Arriba, Speedy Gonzalez. Speedy Gonzalez, along with Pepe Le Pew, almost got canceled. Why? Because they felt that that Speedy Gonzalez was pushing stereotypes of Mexicans. But they ended up fighting and kept fighting for Speedy, and they kept Speedy. But Speedy almost got the axe too. But they axed Pepe Le Pew. We live in a very, very soft as cotton world right now. We live in a very soft world right now. A very PC, and I'm not talking about palm color, I'm talking about politically correct world. Now, as far as the person on your screen, the actress, she says that she had a scene with the Pepe Le Pew character in the movie. And she says that she wants the footage. Let me see what they're talking about. It says Pepe Le Pew has been cut from the upcoming sequel of Space Jam: A New Legacy, but could complete footage of a scene with actress Grace Santo exist? A representative for Santa believes it does and is offering $100,000 reward to anyone who provides the footage of their animated live action exchange. You know how many people go and scramble to try to get that footage? Warner Brothers responded in a letter to the Times. It says it is a crime for someone to solicit another to steal or distribute Warner Brothers property. After publication of this story, Santo representatives contacted the Times to state the offer is to pay Warner Brothers for the footage. A source close to production confirmed no footage is for sale. The scene in question involves the problematic animated skunk approaching the live-action character portrayed by Santo in a bar. She pushes Pepe away when he starts kissing her arm. Then she pours her drink on him. She eventually backshands the persistent skunk, which sends his bar stool spinning before it's stopped by the film star LeBron James. I was getting ready to say that, Brother Sly, but that's not Babs Bunny. Also, there's more, but wait, there's more. Not only did they cancel Pepe Le Pew out of existence, not only did they try to get rid of Speedy Gonzalez, but also, who's familiar with the character of Lola Bunny? Who's familiar with the character of Lola Bunny? Every guy in this chat should be saying me, for the most part. But now in this movie, okay, if y'all remember how Lola Bunny looked because I don't have the picture up. If y'all remember how Lola Bunny looked in the first Space Jam, she was curvy. She had toned legs. She basically had a model shape, like a model shape, but they made her into a bunny. Well, in this new movie, Lola Bunny doesn't have any curves. She doesn't have toned legs. She looks like a male rabbit with makeup on. Like they gave her no shape. And they did that because they felt that they were sexualizing the character. But I'm like, she's a female bunny. Yeah, she doesn't have she has no shape. She looks like a regular she looks like she could be a male bunny with makeup on. It's crazy. Remember, I kept telling people the agenda will steamroll. It doesn't stop. You thought it started with one thing and it was going to stop there. Oh no, it keeps going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. Because in the first movie, she wore she had like the little short shorts, the crop top jersey. In this one, she looks like one of the guys. It's a reason why they gave Lola Bunny a shape, because they needed to differentiate her between a male and female bunny. Now, in this new movie, if you didn't know that was her, you would swear that was just a new character. And we all know that Lola Bunny was the love interest of Bugs Bunny. So, I don't know. Bruce said, you said Lola was the first. Actually, no, Jessica Rabbit came before Lola Bunny. Lola Bunny got introduced in Space Jam, and Jessica Rabbit got introduced in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and that came out first. And the thing, like someone said, the movie's going to tank hard, and it's mainly because, and the movie could be, for all we know, could be a good movie. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I can't judge it. But with them doing all this extracurricular stuff before the movie even drops is a problem. But yes, they doing too much, and the thing is, they're gonna keep doing too much. Right, Solo Dose is gonna be filled with agendas, and they already doing too much already in the movie. The movie hasn't even dropped a trailer yet. They've only released the synopsis for it. I forgot what the synopsis was, but they haven't even dropped the trailer for this movie yet, and already they coming with some bullcrap. But let me move on to the next. Speaking of agendas, this next story. Y'all see it. Michelle Obama praises Zaya Wade for embracing your truth. The former First Lady and Dwayne Wade's, and this is their words, daughter, had a virtual heart-to-heart. They are still trying to convince the masses that this is a girl. Y'all, and it's crazy too, because before I get into the article, y'all remember the group B2K, right? One of the band members who went by the name of Jay Boog came out and said that this interview that Michelle Obama had with, I don't want to speak ill of this boy, because this is solely on D Wade and that high priestess witch that he married. But he spoke on this situation and he said that it was demonic. Then you had Selena Johnson. Yes, that's Selena Johnson from the Peasantry Court, come out and just say all kinds of little things about him. about Jay Boog, and he had other people in the comment section going in about him and whatnot. Oh, you were this and that phobic. Oh, you're just mad because she's living her truth and all kinds of stuff like. And of course, when I read the comments, it was mainly the usual suspects, the black women and those in the academy who are black. But anyway, let's get into this thing and hold our breath because I have the feeling we about to float away on this one. Michelle Obama and Zaya Wade had a virtual heart-to-heart about adolescence and living truthfully. The conversation between the former First Lady and Dwayne Wade's teenage, oh my God, I can't bring myself to say it. Teenager, we'll just say teenager, was shared on Thursday, March 5th in support of the New York Reader's adaptation of Obama's memoir, Becoming. During their chat, Zaya asked Obama what advice she has for teens who want to be themselves and thrive. Like you have and currently are, she gushed, calling Obama her idol. However, Obama said that, and notice that they put they italicized she. Like they made sure to emphasize that. Was the one in awe of Zaya's ability to thrive and live truthfully. See what I mean? What is it? I have to ask black women this question. What is it? And this doesn't apply to every black woman, at least not the ones in this chat. What is it that attracts you to feminizing black boys? That's a question that needs to be asked. You don't like masculine boys or masculine men? What is it? I'm generally inquiring minds want and need an answer today, yesterday, last week, last year, last lifetime. It's funny you put butt breaking Solo Dolo because I've seen the poster. I've seen the trailer too for Tariq's new film, Bug Breaking, that comes out at the end of April. Hopefully I get a chance to go see it. And if I do, I will definitely do a review on it. But I don't know. And that's a question I've always asked, but I never get an answer. I never get an answer. Why that is. Because it has to be more than just bug breaking. It has to be something. It has to be something even more deeper than that. Because I don't believe. Because I'm almost at the point where this is surface level. I am just so proud of you being an amazing role model and embracing your truth, Obama told Zaya, who came out as Hall T last year. That still kind of cripples me. Like, look at what they did to this child. Says it does take time to know what yourself is for young people, she continued. So my first piece of advice is be patient with yourself. This is the period of exploration, and sometimes we put too much pressure on teenagers to know what you're going to be. She also referenced a recurring theme in her memoir and said, you're not supposed to know yet. Your job now as a teenager is not to have it all figured out, but to give yourself space and time to learn and grow. So that means you want to try a lot of things on. Both the former First Lady and Zaya urged teenagers to step outside of their comfort zone and be their authentic selves. Oh, that just sounds like dog whistle language to me. Urge teenagers to step outside of their comfort zone and be their authentic selves. I truly don't even believe that D Wade's son is being his authentic self. We'll see what happens in a few years. If he's still like this in the next 5 to 10 years, I'm giving it that long. We'll see. Then I'll believe it. I want young people to practice embracing the new because I don't want them to ever feel stuck in their lives, Obama said. I think that you are the kind of individual that will never feel stuck. We all think that we thrive with people who are just like us, Zaya added. Getting a different perspective from someone else who isn't like you really helps. And that definitely helped me in becoming me and defining my truth. Obama's new version of Becoming which I will not be. Well, I wouldn't have no reason to buy it. Hit shelves on Tuesday, March 2nd, and is intended for readers aged 10 and up. And it says, watch the chat what they had below. Huh. Okay. And see, if we call this out, we get hit with that label. I don't think I have any more words. I mean, what else? What else could I add to this? All I know is that it's going to be more to come from this, and we're going to be visiting this topic again later down the line. I just know that. Lexi, they're going to have him play Cinderella while Billy Porter plays the fairy godmother. Please don't give them any ideas. It's bad enough that they even put out there that silly Porter might play the fairy godmother. Like, are you kidding me? And see, the thing is, if you call this out, you'll be called this and that phobic. Like me calling this out or saying what it is, I've already gotten the label put on me. By y'all agreeing with me, y'all are guilty by association. And if you agree with my sentiments and you said it yourself, then you are this and that phobic. Well, they can put in all the labels they want. It doesn't mean it is true. But like they say, the truth hurts. Hell, let's move on to the last story. Okay, who can guess what the last story is going to be? Who can guess what the last story is going to be? What's going to be about, I should say. Solo Dolo says Meghan Markle. John Boy said the talk. Chosen One said Prince Harry. Sports and Political Channel said Candace Owens. Chosen One said Harry and Meghan. Spirit of Justice says Stacey Dash, the Royals. It's a mixture of responses. Sharon Osbourne, Stacey Dash. Power Spine Game says I'm from the UK. Is Meghan and Harry. Okay. So I got a mixture of responses. So the last story. Anyone who guessed this royal madness is correct. Listen, there is no way I could have put this into a pre-recorded video. That video would have been so long. Are you hearing me? Long. I'm trying to decide, first off, before I get into this, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do a video about the Sharon Osbourne, Cheryl Underwood situation. I've seen many people do commentaries about it. And Kimberly Fraser, she's not in the chat right now, but she did an amazing rant today about Sharon Osbourne. If y'all haven't gotten a chance to, make sure y'all go and check her channel so you can go and see what she said. She went in for about a good 30 minutes. So the royal madness. I'm surprised y'all didn't catch on that this was going to be the last topic, because I literally put it in the title. It said royal madness. Don't worry, there is a video though coming about Stacey Dash. There is one coming. So hang on to that. But that's going to be on the main channel. Like that one couldn't go on here. I said need many eyes to see that. But that is coming though. So where to begin with this whole thing? So Meghan Markle and Prince Harry sat down with Okra, the Mammy Supreme wig free. I remember one time when I had told people that Okra had wore a wig and her little fan club came out there and tried to say she doesn't wear a wig. I'm like, how do you know? Do you live with her? People are funny. But Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, well, mainly Meghan, because she was the one that really kicked everything off, said that there was some racism that was going on. Well, let's start with just saying that she had some issues with the royal family. We knew that there was going to be some issues going into that marriage from the jump because Meghan, is of mixed ethnicity. She has a white father and a black mother. And of course, she's palm colored passing. Like if you see Meghan Markle out on the street, you would probably sweep her down. She was a straight up palm colored woman. But I'm gonna be honest. She wouldn't have fooled me. I'm just being honest. She would have not fooled me. Because when you're as a black person, you've seen every shade of black possible, from the darkest of night to the lightest of the sun. And you can tell because those aesthetic features often never, they kind of carry on, no matter how many adjustments she has had to her face. But she sat down with Oprah, the Mammy Supreme wig free, and she basically was talking about everything that was going on with her and the royal family. And it's like, okay, you're not telling us anything new. We knew that you going into this marriage, into this relationship, and into this hierarchy, if you want to call it that. We knew that there was going to be some issues going on. Because while you may try to white pass here in the States, they know who you are over there. And they were going to have a problem with you. So she basically went on there. She's having her whole sob fest, if you want to call it that. And, she's talking to Oprah. Oprah's talking to her. And then it gets to the point where Meghan talks about their son, Archie, who we've all now seen a picture of. And that child is very pale. The child looks more like Harry than her. But she came out and said that the royal family, but they never said who said it, they are worried about the child's skin tone. Like, will the child look one way or the other? And then you have fake Oprah up there talking about what? What, are you serious? Oprah, are you really going to try to play this game of, oh, I didn't know, or how could you right now? Is that really what it's coming down to? Oprah, like, you've never experienced racism before. Let's not forget, a few years ago, many years ago now, Oprah, remember she went to Paris and she tried to shop in this store and they said that they couldn't let her in or something like that. And they said they didn't know who she was, even though I think they were lying, because who doesn't know who she is? And she's experienced racism. Like, she acted like she could not believe that. This is the thing that gets me with some black people, not all black people, but a lot, too many. How is some of y'all going to sit up here and act like y'all do not know that the royal family comes from a very Dub S stock? Think about it. Dub S origins is in that region. Before it sprawled out of control and got across the globe and really penetrated America, it started there. It's the birthplace of Dub S. I think it's been perfected by the states, though. So why are black people shocked about what Meghan said? Oh, you thought because she was of mixed ethnicity and she had a child with a white man that this was that her child would not be affected? Stephanie said it happened to her again in Switzerland. I didn't know it happened more than once. Like, I'm gonna need some black people out here, excuse me, to really open up their eyes and pull their head out of their ass for real, and stop acting shocked. Even though I believe Oprah was faking the funk, to be quite honest, like, she wasn't being real. She wasn't being real. She was being fake and phony, as she always is. She interviews all these people over the years, and that's what shocks you. Exactly, Bruce. He says that's a reason why English is the number one language in the West, because it came from them. Colonizing all over the place, language included. That's where we got English from England. But she basically, sat up there and, was talking to her. And then they brought Harry in. And then he was talking. And then I think that, Okra was trying to pull it out of him of who was making these statements. Now, there's been a debate online of who made the remarks. They said that it wasn't the Queen. They believe it's down between Prince Charles, who is Harry and Prince William's father, Prince William, who, of course, is the brother to him, Kate, who is the wife, sister-in-law, the wife to Prince William, sister-in-law to Meghan, and brother and sister-in-law to Harry. And maybe someone else threw out that Camilla Parker, the wife of Prince Charles. They said it was a possibility between the four of them that it could have made that statement. Then I heard some things about her and Kate arguing over a dress, over a bridesmaid's dress. I swear this is some rich people problems. I can't relate. They know if they said the names, what would happen? Because remember, they don't have any more protection. They don't have any royal protection. They're right here in the States now. They're in California. And I think that they said Tyler Perry, he gave them a place to stay in one of the houses that he has out in California so they can stay there. Because I think they went to Canada first. They stayed there for a little bit, and then they came back. Then they came in the States, and now they're in California, staying at one of Tyler Perry's residences. All I'm going to say to Meghan Markle is this. If you didn't learn from experience, maybe you should have learned from the experience of your biological mother-in-law, Princess Diana. Because we all remember what happened to her. It's crazy. Meghan Markle just appears not to be a likable person, but Princess Diana was loved by everyone, which I believe is another reason why they had to get rid of her. But I also believe, too, is because of that brown-skinned Egyptian she was with. But we ain't going to talk about that. Same here, Jordan. I feel the same way. I can't stand when black folks act shocked about racism. That's why with the whole thing that went on with with Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood, that pissed me off on multitude of levels. If I do decide to do a video about it, I'll address how I feel like really about the whole thing, because I feel nothing for either one of them women, honestly, for different reasons. And speaking of crusty English muffins, since we are on the topic of this, I could not leave this topic, and I'm probably going to end the stream after I talk about this. We have got to address Piers Morgan. That dude showed his whole crusty, dusty, tea sipping, crumpet chumping ass do all of this. He was so mad. He was so mad at Meghan Markle for calling out the royal family. For reasons for at that time, for me, reasons unknown, but I think now we've gotten to the bottom of why he's mad at her. He was so mad that he walked off the set of his own show and quit like a little bitch. But then when I found out or got to what I believe to be the root of it all, Then it started to make sense. I did not know that Piers Morgan had at one time went on a date with Meghan Markle. I did not know that they went on a date. Notice I said a date. Not dates as in plural, as in more than one, but a date as in one date. Yes, in case y'all did not know, Piers Morgan went on a date with Meghan Markle. And the way he was explaining it on this talk show, he said he went on a date with her. Then she had to end up leaving to go to some kind of a party. Now, this is back when she was on, I think she was on Suits, that show Suits at the time. So she said that she had left. She went to this party. He had dropped her off at this party. And at this party, that's where she met Prince Harry. And then that's when they started dating. And you can tell by his tone, he was so upset by that. And I think Harvey addressed this on his channel when he did that video about Piers Morgan. I said, oh, so that's why he feels some type of way. He's upset and jealous that he not only lost who he believed to be this gorgeous woman, but he lost her to a younger, more well-known man who happens to be royalty. So if Piers Morgan can find anything bad to say about Meghan Markle for anything, he will find a way to say it. And who was that thing? Someone said that he was scorned. Yes, Tina, he sounded like a scorned ex. Mind you, Piers Morgan, isn't he in his 50s? Stephanie said, I should see his wife. I don't know if I want to. The way that you frame that, it sounds like his wife sleeps upside down like a bat. But then again, Piers Morgan might do the same. But when I heard about that, I said, oh, so that's where his grief comes from. He felt he lost the good. He felt he lost the good one. But Harvey made some good solid points in his commentary when he was talking about that. They feel entitled to a lot of things. In his mind, how dare she leave me to go be with him? Mind you, Meghan is in her early 30s, I believe. And so is Harry. So they're in the same age bracket. Meanwhile, Piers Morgan is old enough, if he was to have a child at a very young age, old enough to be her dad. Maybe, I don't know, maybe she saw a creep factor in him that she didn't like. I don't know. Oh, she said she's 39. Okay, she's 39. Okay. So she's closer to 40. But yeah, Piers Morgan was pissed. He was so mad. He was so upset. What's going on, Caressa? You came pretty much towards the end of my stream. I'm only going to be here for like another couple more minutes because this is the last topic. But yeah, he was so mad. He quit his job. Like, you got to think, how mad could one be at a situation that is out of your control that you quit your job? It's not like you had some allegations against you. It's not like you were being forced out the door. And then on top of that, you are the face of a daily talk show. And you just stormed off the set and you leave like that. I don't want to hear nobody else tell me about what's the word I'm looking for? The non-sensitivity of palm-colored men. Not after what Piers Morgan did. But then again, we got to deal with people like Vanessa Jones, who always crying all over the damn place. But yeah, all you can do is just shake your head and laugh at people like Piers Morgan because he's a joke. He's a clown. Right, brother? It's like he threw a whole hissy fit. I'm gonna be honest, it'd be so funny listen to British people get mad because, you know, they have the accent that makes them sound so sophisticated and proper that when they start cursing and all over the place, that shit is hilarious, especially when they say the word cunt. That word coming out of their mouth always makes me laugh. Just like when Jamaicans say bumbleclot or go suck your mother, that should be hilarious. Like when they say cunt, that should be hilarious. Like just go online and listen to a British person say the word cunt a whole bunch of times. I swear you will laugh until you have tears coming out of your eyes. I'm telling you, promise you. Exactly, Akira Pierce is mad because he got curved by Meghan Markle and she ended up with the prince. Hey, it is what it is. He'll be all right. But anyway, this is going to be pretty much the end of the stream. I appreciate everybody for coming through. You know, another week down. Of course, I'll be back again on this channel next Friday to do it all over again with a new host of topics, unless I collab with someone. And of course, you know, we'll just kind of bounce off of each other. You never know what may happen in the future. Shout out to everybody who came through. Shout out to everybody who subscribed to the channel. I think I'm almost at 1,500 on this channel. I'm climbing up there. That I predict I can get to 2K. I don't know. It may be a little ambitious to say by the end of the month, but it'll definitely happen before the summer. But yeah, y'all go ahead and enjoy the rest of your day. If you have nice weather, go out and really enjoy it because it's still light outside. And I think daylight saving time is happening this week, so we about to have longer days, which is a good thing. I'll be back on my main channel tomorrow. Y'all know 3 videos a day, 10 a.m., 6 p.m., and 2 p.m. And by the way, it seems like the notifications are really working lately. I can tell by the analytics, the notifications are definitely working. So this new time structure that I got is definitely working. So I'm glad that I made that change. But with that being said, I'm gonna hop off of here and I will talk to you all in the next one.